Surprisingly, this movie makes me want to actually go out and play more chess. So, Pawn Sacrifice is directed by Edward Zwick, and it tells the story of Bobby Fischer, one of the most famous chess players in history, and it follows his story as he tries to become the greatest chess player in the world at the time when he was alive, and also it shows how the game is affecting him in different ways than you would think. It shows how the game is actually making him go insane as he keeps playing it and works harder and harder to be number one. Now, I personally love chess, and I love the story of Bobby Fischer. You have a guy who is known as being one of the greatest players ever, but there's also a dark side to him that believes that people are spying on him and trying to sabotage to kill him during this time during the Cold War, and it's super interesting, and this movie is as well. Now, I really enjoyed Tobey Maguire's role as Bobby Fischer in this movie. He is able to play the character very well, making him a character that's not only charismatic, but also a character that as the movie goes on, he starts to slowly unravel more and more, until the point where he is pretty much paranoid and insane. Not only does it make the movie more interesting, but as the movie continues to go on and becomes more deep within the storytelling process, he actually makes it one that you have to think about and understand why he's going more and more insane. The storytelling in this movie is also done very, very well. Using a mixture of really good cinematography and really well done writing, it makes a story that is very compelling to see Bobby Fischer from childhood to adulthood. Not only does it make the movie fun and exciting in moments, but also very thought-provoking, serious, and compelling to watch as the movie goes on. The last act of this movie is definitely where the storytelling really pays off. Using the character development from the first two acts of the movie, the last act where Bobby Fischer is going against Boris Shansky in the World Championship Tournament is really where the tension builds up and you're really, really rooting for Bobby Fischer to win, even though he's kind of crazy. However, this movie does have two big flaws with it, one of it being that it is pretty repetitive at times, and two, that it is kind of slow at times. Now, I keep mentioning that this movie is about Bobby Fischer going insane because this movie definitely emphasizes that a lot. There are quite a few scenes that are just in there to show, oh, look how crazy Bobby Fischer is becoming right now. Watch as he sits in a room in silence after he has just ripped out everything on the walls to make sure that there are no bugs in his room. And though it is interesting at first, at times it does get repetitive, and it makes you yearn for those scenes that are either fun or scenes that actually have things going on in them. Now, I originally was going to give Pawn Sacrifice maybe a 3.5, maybe a 3.75 stars, because it is a good movie, but there are a lot of points where it is repetitive. However, I can't emphasize enough how good the third act of this movie was. It was really, really great. It changes from a movie where you're just thinking, oh, Bobby Fischer's insane because of the stress of chess, and it actually reveals more of why this is happening, why he is slowly going more and more insane, and also it actually takes a turn in the story that makes it so much more compelling than the rest of the movie. If the entire movie was like this, I would have given it a 4.5, maybe even a 4.75 out of 5 stars, because it's so compelling and rich that I just can't emphasize enough how good this last act is. So with a really well done performance by Tobey Maguire as Bobby Fischer, some really good storytelling throughout, however, it is repetitive through most of it and a little bit slow for the first two acts, but in the third act it really excels at being a really, really well done movie. I had a really good time with Pawn Sacrifice. Not only is it a movie that's really serious about chess and explaining the story of Bobby Fischer, it also is a movie that you can go into and have fun with because there are some pretty fun and funny moments in the movie. It's definitely the better movie of this weekend. Definitely go check it out. And I'm going to give Pawn Sacrifice 4.25 stars. So guys, let me know below if you see Pawn Sacrifice and what you think about the movie and the story of Bobby Fischer itself. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next time.